Hello, you're listening to Reviewing History, your comedy history podcast. I'm filmmaker and teacher Brian Rupert, joined here by...
As always, for our podcast, Stephen Dagliaco.
And...
Sanji.
Oh, that sound can only mean one thing.
Spooky season.
No, he's a vampire. Steve, stake him quick.
If I had a piece of wood, I would have plunged.
It's Spooktober again. Spooktober is upon us.
I think this is like my favorite block we do.
I think
the only block we do.
But it's so different than everything else.
Yeah, the movies get worse.
Yeah. It's
they're
the worst
fun.
run. It's the worst run of movies we usually do.
But they're fun.
They are fun.
Sure, they're fun.
They tend to be fun.
Sure.
But yeah, we're in the spooky season.
Last year, I couldn't sleep for 3 days because we were watching horrific things, and the research kept me up at night. So
yeah, last year some of the events we discussed were actually somewhat spooky, and some of our personal stories were
utterly terrifying.
Oh, I feel like we got some personal stories to tell.
Brian's Teddy Ruxpin thing always kind of creeped me out.
We got some today.
Your mother actually told my parents your Teddy Ruxpin story and confirmed it for them the other day.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
Yeah.
What'd they say? They were like, what the fuck?
They were like, wow, that was a scary story.
Yep.
Spooky.
You have to go back if you want to hear it, guys. Sorry, I'm just...
We may repeat it at some point during the month, but we have new scary spooky incidents.
There's spooky incidents.
We did,
because there is nothing spookier than a man getting married. Steve is off the market.
I'm off the market.
Fellas,
yes.
I got married.
He's
Sorry,
taken.
guys.
You didn't take his uncle's advice because every uncle gives the same advice. Don't get married.
Don't get married. You'll regret it. Don't get married. Stay single for as long as you can. Nah, I got married.
There were others giving that advice too.
Now all of us are all off the market.
In the wedding party right before the marriage.
Oh God.
Yes.
You want to bring that up?
No. We'll keep that in-house.
Keep that private.
But
how does it feel, Steve?
Well, I remember right when it ended, the ceremony, Brian came up to me, gave me a big hug, and said, "Congratulations on being miserable the rest of your life." And I was like, "Thank you, Brian."
You guys.
I'm joking. I'm doing the bit.
He was doing the bit.
Right.
That's what
Uncle Brain.
Feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good. I'm happy that I'm married now, honestly. It's been long enough.
I love it. I mean, you've practiced. Yeah. We already have been calling her your wife the whole time.
Years.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of spooky incidents related to your wedding that I wanted to talk about first.
So we teased this before.
Yes.
And I didn't want to bring it up. I didn't want to get into details. It was just you got to listen to this episode. You're going to hear it from the horse's mouths. All of us had some shit happen. I don't think he's been the same since. I feel like he's been off lately.
He's been way more gay.
Way.
I think that gay demon got
I was
him.
driving.
Hey.
I was driving him, and I went to hit my, to put myself in park, and he grabbed my hand on top of it, and I was like, "This is weird." So
sorry, I just thought it would be nice.
yeah, he watches 300 one time. Next thing you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, spooky stuff.
So
get into it.
You wanted for your bachelor party to be in the wilderness.
I wanted
in a
to
cabin.
go camping.
Camping.
Yeah, specifically camping.
I would not go camping, and I knew other people.
Nobody wants
in
to
the
stay
wedding.
in a tent.
Nobody wants to tent. Nobody wants, to be in harsh conditions. Me and Aunt found a very nice cabin.
Right.
I thought so.
And
it was nice.
And we book it.
It was a nice cabin.
And it was 3 cabins on acres
a large
of land.
piece of property in the wilderness, in the mountains.
Yes.
South Carolina.
And it had a lot of buildings that you could use. So it
3 buildings.
accommodated a large party.
Yes, which is what
fit
Steve had.
30
Yes.
people. And we had 10, I think. And
Yeah.
we were expecting 20. It got cut down to 10 or something.
Yeah.
Well, once everyone found out they were going camping, they dropped
A
like
lot
flies.
of people dropped, which
Yes.
was nice because it was the people that was important. And when you booked it, I did my own research.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they got some cool stories. I got to give it to these guys. They got some balls. And neither of you
I
did
didn't know.
research, did you?
Yeah.
Well, we looked it up. It
Fantastic.
was a
All
nice,
we cared about was could it fit?
Yeah.
could it fit
wanted.
people
Yep.
and did it look nice? And it did.
Yes.
So
You gotta when you look at Google, here's a hint to the fans. You got to go to at least the second or third link to see what's up with the place.
Yeah.
Because do you want to tell them what was up?
Well, it came out on verbal. So we get in the car on the drive there. It's us and your brother.
Yeah.
And
I said it.
And you go, this place is haunted, right? Now, I've already had ghost incidents
You didn't know.
before. I didn't know.
I think I said
My mother, when I told my mother what we were doing, she was like, let me look at the place. And
No,
she went and found it. And she goes, this is the most haunted place in like
on
America.
the East Coast. Possibly in America. And
if I knew that, I would not have booked
so
it.
I remember exactly what I said. I'm like, I gotta say, like, I'm impressed that you booked this because it's you. And you go, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, it's haunted. And you're like, what do you mean it's haunted?
And anyone who's been a long time listener of this program knows that Brian has the shine.
Brian has some bad stuff happen to him all the time. Ed got it the worst this time.
You think so? I don't know. So this is the Shamrock house.
Shamrock House.
You'll
Down in
probably see
South
pictures
Carolina.
of it.
Yeah. Beautiful house.
It's gorgeous.
Very
gorgeous
creepy.
land. Old. The banisters are made from polished wood that they probably found outside.
Right.
It looks like a hunting lodge.
Let's give the background as to why it's haunted, the story that happened.
Sure.
So in like 1910, somewhere around
I
there.
think it's the 20s.
It might be the 20s.
I think it was a prohibition.
20s.
It's early 1900s. There's a stag party, like a bachelor party.
Yep.
And these gentlemen hire strippers. And one of the strippers comes.
What's her name?
Her name is Nancy.
Nancy.
And she is a local preacher's daughter. And he finds out that his daughter is there stripping. And he shows up. And Papa's none too happy.
Nope.
She runs up to a bedroom, takes a bunch of pills, and dies.
She kills herself in the room.
Since that time, it has been reported that there are spooky happenings in this house.
Right. LBJ was there.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
There's nothing more scary than the devil himself.
I know.
Well, that's why it probably
Satan himself stayed at the house.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
And there's a room.
There's a room
called the Nancy
hold on.
room.
So we're all picking our bedrooms, right?
Yeah.
In like the main cabin. And we walk upstairs and there's
Brian immediately runs.
He takes the biggest bedroom.
no, Steve walks in and goes, "Oh, this room is freezing. I don't want to stay here." I'm like, "Oh, I love the cold. I'll take the cold room."
Yeah.
And I walk in, and there's a plaque that says Nancy's room on the door.
On the door.
There's a picture of her, and the room is like
Freezing.
15 degrees colder
No
the rest of
AC.
the house.
It doesn't have AC.
than the rest of the house. And it's like, this is fucking weird.
Brian runs
I
down.
go,
I'm not staying.
Nope, I'll
I'm not
sleep on a
staying.
couch. I won't do it.
I go, I'll take the room. I go, later on, I had a few drinks. I'm like, I got you, Brian. I'll stay there.
Yeah.
So,
Bad move, turns out.
regular bachelor party stuff happens, nothing crazy. The first night, I lay on the couch. Steve goes up to bed.
Yep. I throw my hoodie near my bag, which is in the corner.
Were
of
you
the room.
creeped out just being in the house that night?
I wasn't when everyone was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I was creeped out going to bed.
Yeah, like at like whatever 3 a.m. or whatever. Everybody went back to their respective
Yeah.
places, and it's like it's bedtime.
Well, yeah.
and if I would have went into your bed and I was like, I'm cold, I'm scared, can I sleep in here? Would you have let me? If I was sincerely
Sincere.
like I'm really, really scared, man.
Please protect me.
No.
You would have let me stay in your room.
No.
Wow, what a
absolutely not.
bad friend.
No, I would have told you to get the fuck out. I would have said go to the other fucking building.
there's like
There would be
multiple
no
places.
reason for you to be in my bed. That's absurd.
What if I'll stay on the floor? I just can't be alone. I'm too
On the floor?
Yeah, I'm like that terrified.
I would have let you stay on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah. But I would have been like, what the fuck is wrong with you, you child?
He knocks on your door holding a teddy bear. I'm scared.
So that night I go to bed and I don't have a blanket or anything.
Right.
And I'm just.
It was August, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hot out. It's like 85, 90 degrees.
So I'm just laying on a couch, and your brother is in the living room with me. He has his
the
own
two
couch.
of you are on couches.
Yes.
separate couches.
Yeah.
I wake up, and I have a hoodie laid across me like a blanket.
Yes.
And you did not put it there.
I did not
my
put
hoodie.
it there. I go, this is weird. But I'm like, maybe like I was cold in the night. One of my friends happened to like see
None of
me.
your friends were going to put Beaver's hoodie on you.
But
Never.
what
Right.
explanation could you have?
I don't know.
Right?
I was on the opposite couch in a corner that I.
Well, I wasn't paying
like,
attention to where
nobody
you.
would have.
You got tucked in.
You got
I
tucked
wasn't
in.
paying attention to where your hoodie was. So
Yeah.
I'm like, someone must have like put it on me. You know, maybe I was cold and they felt bad or something. I don't know.
Probably in your head, it was like, yeah, it was probably me.
I didn't know. So I don't say anything about it. I'm like, okay, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come down.
Well,
before
outside.
then,
I was outside.
Let's talk about Ant's morning experience.
Okay. So I didn't really sleep much that night because I was all creeped out. And at the same time, I don't sleep all that much to begin with.
Yeah.
So I spent most of the night just kind of staring at the ceiling. But I did get a couple of winks in. But around, I don't know, 6:30, 7 a.m., I was like, I can't lay here anymore. So I got up. I looked out the window and I saw Beaver pacing back and forth outside by the campfire.
Working on the fire. And
so I was like, oh, all right, he's up. I'm going to go hang out with him.
You just start screaming, it's paranormal activity. It's got him.
So I was in the hall. I was in the upstairs bedroom across the hall from the Nancy room. So I had my own room that was not the Nancy room. And I walk out.
By the way, the Nancy room is only for Nancy's. That's why Steve stayed.
That's why I stayed. Yeah.
So I walked out and and from where there's like a balcony and you could look down into the living room and I could see the couches that Brian and my brother were sleeping on. Mm-hmm. And I looked down and I saw that nobody was sleeping on the couches anymore. So
it's empty.
So I guess they're up, right? So I go downstairs to put my shoes on and my brother is asleep on the couch. And literally a second ago when I was upstairs, he wasn't there. It was very fucking bizarre.
So was
but
Brian.
I was like, I guess I just didn't see him. Maybe he was camouflaged or something.
Yeah.
I didn't put too much thought into it, but it was just really strange that from where I was standing upstairs, he was not there. He was invisible. Yeah. And then I get downstairs and he was there. He was dead asleep. So I put my shoes on and I went out and started hanging out with Beaver. And that was it for that morning.
For that morning.
But then there was something else came.
Yeah.
My morning was interesting.
So, yeah. So then we're all just hanging out and you kind of, people are busting your balls. Did the ghost get you and stuff? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now you talk about what happened.
And so I'll say this. When we were at the campfire, so you guys come out. I don't say anything to Ant. I don't say anything. I'm kind of just like a little quiet, I guess. Like I'm tending to the fire. And I'm like, yeah, we got to cook breakfast and blah, blah, blah. And I go, hey, guys, something happened last night. Something weird happened. I was like, did any of you tuck me in? Like I feel like somebody tucked me in last night, right? Like, you fuck with me? And Brian's face turns white, looks at me and goes, you didn't tuck me in? And I go, what the fuck are you talking about? And then we'd start talking about the morning, my morning. So after everybody goes to bed, it's my party. I feel it's my obligation to entertain everyone for as long as humanly possible. My friend goes, you got to see the other house. Come see. We walk to the house. I'm like, there's bunk beds. I'm like, this is awesome. It's called the bunk house. Right. I'm like, this is pretty cool. He goes, all right, I'm going to go to bed. He goes to brush his teeth. I leave the bunk house. The door closes. I go into the main house. Everyone's asleep. I see you on the couch. I see your brother on the couch.
I am not tucked in.
I see my hoodie on the couch. I do not touch my hoodie. I go, that'll stay there. I'll get it in the morning. I'm like, I got to go up to the Nancy room. Here we go. I think you're asleep at this point.
Yeah,
you're in your bed.
Went to bed first.
You're in your bed.
Yeah.
It's 3:30, 3:45 in the morning. I'd say 3:45. I'm like, all right, I got to go to bed. I put my stuff in. I put on a change of pants. I lay in the bed. I lay on top of the bed like you would because it was really hot. Even though it was colder in that room, which it was hot.
It's August.
Before I go to bed.
In the South.
I look around the room because I'm like, all right, if it's haunted, there might be stuff that fucks, like that's purposely there to fuck with me. Maybe a small speaker, maybe something to fuck with me.
Like they wired the house.
They wired something.
There was really thought that?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
There was nothing. I'm a tech person. That's how I think. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to go to bed. I lay on top of the bed. Now, how the bed is set up, it's a pillow, blanket on top of it, smaller blanket on the bottom, tucked in underneath the bed.
Right.
I sleep on top of the bed. My feet are out because it's really hot. My socks are on.
My friend one time, he was in a hotel in LA and he paid the chambermaid to do a tuck and she didn't do it.
Yeah. You want it tight.
You want it tight.
Yeah.
What do you tip a chambermaid?
I don't know. I would give Nancy a tip. She was very nice to me.
All right, so what happened?
Very nice to me.
Now I got that out of the way.
So 3:45, I go to bed.
He got the old Dan Aykroyd.
And by go to bed, And by go to bed, specifically light on, I'm like, I'm going to sleep.
You slept with the light on?
Yeah. I ain't shutting the light off. Because I'm like, it's night one. Let's see what's up.
Yeah. You do fall asleep though.
I fell asleep.
Yeah.
At 4:45, 5 o'clock in the morning, about an hour and a half later, I hear and somebody leave my room. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I look outside the door and I'm like, oh, that must be Ant going to the bathroom. I look
just
down.
ran in. Ooh, Beaver has a nice cock. And then he ran out.
I look down and my feet are underneath the small blanket and the blanket is still tucked in tight underneath the bed. I did not put my feet in there.
You got tucked in.
I do not kick when I sleep. I am a peaceful sleeper. And I go, this is our friend fucking with me or something. Somebody just like
it's such a
prank.
weird thing.
Somebody pulled a prank just to like be like, haha, you're in the haunted house.
Yeah,
right?
that's not a prank thing.
So I stand up
Like
and
I tuck
I'm like,
you in.
I felt uneasy and I'm like, you know what? I gotta see. Maybe it's Ant. I get up, I walk out, everyone's dead asleep. I hear no doors moving. I hear no movement downstairs. There's no AC on, and Ant is in his bed sleeping. I hear him slightly going.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm out. I grab my bag, I go downstairs, and I start the fire. And I'm just like, okay, this happened. When everyone gets up, I'm going to ask them at some point who fucked with me.
Right.
Because if I don't get an answer, that's messed up. And everyone starts trickling down in the morning. You trickle down, Ant trickles down first. I make him some coffee. You trickle down.
Yeah.
And then I bring it up. Who tucked me in? The thing is, everybody came from the exact spot that I left them.
Yeah.
I have no answer.
So you guys both got
I
tucked
have no answer.
We both had similar experiences, and I didn't even bring it up and say mine until
I
you did.
And you're like, wait a minute.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So
She tucked us in because
honestly,
we're good boys.
We're good people, right? He didn't get tucked in.
Yeah.
If anything, he got transported to another dimension, not once, but twice.
I went to, I brought a sleeping bag with me because I didn't want to use the covers of the place.
Yeah.
And I had that on top of me. So I was already warm. I was
Okay.
just being taken care of.
Yeah.
I was terrified that at some point the sleeping bag would be ripped off. Of me.
Yeah.
No, she was very sweet.
Yes.
If we're gonna
It was a
get,
nice
let's be
ghost.
honest, if we're gonna get haunted, we got like Casper.
You
know?
guys.
Well,
did.
we got Casper.
Yeah.
So then later that day,
Everybody went hiking but me.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm
all
too
that.
fat to go hiking.
Can't go hiking.
Yeah.
We get it.
So I stayed behind, and I was like, oh, I'll chill in the house
You're in the property all by yourself.
By yourself.
all by myself.
Right.
Yeah.
And, there's really nothing to do. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a bowl of cereal. I'm going to watch Back to the Future on the TV.
A great morning.
Make some cereal,
Yeah.
sit down. I put the TV on. From upstairs, boom, boom, boom. Okay.
It's loud.
Try to ignore it. I'm eating. Boom, boom, boom.
Like, what did it sound like? Someone was banging
Someone
on
knocking.
something?
Yeah.
like stomping or knocking.
Wow.
A loud noise from upstairs. I'm the only one
That's
there.
terrifying.
I
Mind
go,
you, most people be like, oh, it's the AC unit. No AC
There's
unit.
no AC.
There's no AC
it
unit.
wouldn't be that loud.
Yeah.
Right.
It
And
was
on top
a
of that,
clear,
The
like,
AC unit is like the line one that's installed that like has an exhaust outside.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have the big unit. So
like it.
I
I
was
feel.
trying to get your
I feel like it
Yep.
really wanted me to communicate, so
Yeah.
I ignore it. I'm like, okay,
should have knocked back.
for that
She was
fuck
flirting
that.
with you.
Is it cheating if I have a ghost affair on my wife?
Yeah, if you passed out and like you had
Only
like,
if you do it knowingly. Like if you get ghost raped, you're all right.
Well, that's
yeah.
But if like the ghost appears as an apparition, and I'm like, ooh,
what if it?
is that like an affair?
I think so.
I think so.
I
yeah.
think so too. I
What
think
if it
that's
like
wrong.
rapes you in your dream? If it
I
rapes
think-
you in your dream,
well,
is that?
no? I
You
mean,
rape me in your dream, you better wake up and apologize.
So you hear the banging and
I
you're
go,
out.
fuck
You're
this.
out.
I can't stay in this
You're
house.
out. Yep.
So I go and I sit by the fire pit for, hours. And
Yeah,
like
you were gone a long
Yeah, we were
time.
gone.
I fall asleep in the chair, and there's
Outside.
There's times where I have to go back into the house, like if I need a drink or if I have to use the bathroom. Or like I would be like, maybe it's done now.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Every
boom.
time you went
Every time.
inside.
Every
Should've went
time.
upstairs, man.
And then I wouldn't hear it. And then around the property, there was like kind of like a swing, right?
Yeah.
And I got bored because like I'm fucking all alone for like 4 hours.
Decided to sit on the bench.
He
So
goes
give
to the
yourself
most
a nice swing.
haunted looking swing on earth.
Yeah, it was a creepy swing.
It's just it's bark.
So
bark and
I'm
old rope.
sitting on it and like I start to hear like noises from like the room that would be above me.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck this. I just have to sit by this fire pit and I'm just like kind of staring into the woods for 4 hours as I wait for you guys.
So then we got home, and I had my second thing happen.
I had one
Well,
too.
you
I
had one.
before you.
Mhm.
So we get home. It was a long hike. We all shower up.
Yeah.
I sit in the living room. Your brother showered before me. He's sitting there reading a book. It's me and him. Everyone else is outside.
Mm-hmm.
And we hear footsteps upstairs. Light footsteps. And I'm like, huh. And I think logically, I'm like, oh, it's the AC unit kicking on. And no AC unit goes on. And then I hear footsteps again. So I turn to your brother and I'm like, hey, do you hear that? And he's reading a book, drops the book to his chest and looks up to listen. He hears footsteps. He goes, I'm not acknowledging this right now. And just goes back to reading. And I'm like, okay, this is,
Yeah.
I'm never going back up there again. I'm not. And I
So-
didn't.
Yeah, you slept.
I actually took out my sleeping bag and laid on the floor. And
In the living
Aunt was
room.
yelling at me.
Yeah.
You got to go to bed upstairs. I'm like, I'm not doing it. He goes, you got to go up there. I'm fucking terrified.
And then our friend.
So yeah, so right around that same time, I went and took a shower, and I was staying in the room opposite the Nancy room, right?
Yeah.
So I'm getting changed in my bedroom, but I had like the door open, and I see out of the corner of my eye someone walk into the Nancy room and turn the light on.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? So I walk out in the hallway, and I hear Brian yell from downstairs. Remember, you could see the living room from like the living room.
It's a balcony.
Yeah, it's a balcony.
Yeah.
So you could see me, right? So I walk out of the room, I'm in my underwear. And I hear Brian downstairs yell, nice gams. And I hear him, he's downstairs. I don't even look at him.
Do you
I
even
just-
say gams?
Yeah, I did.
he was doing, he said nice gams. He was making fun of my legs.
Yeah.
So I go into the Nancy room and nobody's in there, but the light was on. And then I walk out of the room and Brian is literally 2 feet away from me.
You heard him downstairs.
I would have bet you $1 trillion he was downstairs, but he was literally 2 feet away from me. He was upstairs. It was insane. Like, it was
And
like, for whatever reason, this house was fucking with time and space for me.
For you, yeah.
It was like my perception was all fucked up. Like, I couldn't see my brother in the morning, and then later that day, Brian warped.
So the other thing is like, I'm watching you do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, hey,
Did he
nice
look
game.
possessed?
He just looked like it was
Confused.
weird.
Yeah.
Like he's like investigating, and he walks into the room and he looks around, and then he walks out and he looks at us like almost surprised.
Yeah.
Like what?
You know how you can tell when someone's in a room with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no sense of that whatsoever. Like, you can always tell someone is nearby. You feel their energy. I don't know how to explain that, but I felt nothing. It was like he was masked. And it wasn't just him. You were with two
I was
other
with-
guys.
Yeah, 2 other people.
There were 3 people
having a whole conversation.
literally
Yeah.
less than 5 feet away from me, and I just had no concept that they were anywhere near me.
Yeah.
I didn't hear them come up the stairs. It was just very fucking strange.
Yeah. And then I was sitting by the campfire later that night. I'm sitting with our friend. He's a listener. Hi. I'm not gonna say his name, but we're sitting there and he's staying in the bunkhouse. So how this works is the campfire is in between both. So you could look behind us is the main house where all the Nancy room is. And there's a bunkhouse in front of us. We're drinking, laughing, having a good time.
He's laughing.
Well, he's laughing. All of a sudden, the outside light from the bunkhouse goes on. And we're like, oh, someone's coming out of the bunkhouse. And then the light inside turns on. We're like, what? Like, I'm like, did you see that? He's like, yeah, I'll go check it out. I think somebody just went to the house. He runs to the bunkhouse, goes upstairs, opens the door. I see him. He goes inside, sprints back out. He goes, nobody's in there. I go, what? He's like, nobody's in there. Not only is nobody in there, the door was locked. So I don't know how the light turned on. I don't know how the outside light turned on. He goes, but I'm not going back in there. I'm sleeping in my car.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right. He turns out he slept in the Nancy room that night. He got drunk and fell asleep in the Nancy room, woke up tucked in.
Yeah, I refuse to go to sleep unless somebody else went up there.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to him. He woke up with his legs tucked under the blanket and he passed out drunk on top of the bed.
Needless to say, Shamrock House, kind of scary.
We had a good time.
It was fun, but talking about that shit after is
cautionary
scary.
table if you're going to book a house.
Or if you
Check if there's
want,
ghosts
Check
there.
if it's the most haunted place in America.
I did that full video walkthrough. We can put that up.
Oh,
yeah,
you
you
did?
did.
Yeah, I recorded it.
You were scared recording it, I remember.
Yeah,
You
well,
were like, this is the haunted house.
yeah. It was like, a paranormal activity where it's like, why is this asshole recording? Get out of the house. But I had another supernatural thing happen to me recently
Really?
related to Steve's wedding. I encountered a time traveler.
What? At my wedding?
No. Leading up to your wedding.
He hopped in your car and he could turn it on.
Was it?
He had a book with him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He had all the sports things.
Yeah. He was like, Aaron Rodgers is going down. Don't get your hopes up, kid. And I was like, that's
nobody can start
terrifying.
this call but me. What do you mean you encountered a time traveler?
So I had to get a suit for the wedding.
Yeah.
So I had to go to the Edentown Men's Warehouse. That was the nearest one to me.
We all
Jersey.
love the way we look, by the way.
They guaranteed
They
it.
guaranteed it, and we look good.
Yeah, I'd like to see about that guarantee. Maybe you could have a buckle for the pants that fucking works, so I don't have to hold up my pants all fucking night. How about some fucking?
Do you have a wardrobe
belt
malfunction, Brian?
Oh, we'll
did,
talk
he did.
about that in a second with this fucking asshole
yeah.
time traveler.
Time traveler.
So the Edentown
Was it someone from the future or the past?
past.
Oh.
He's from the past, and he is working at a men's warehouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a different profession. So at the Edentown Men's Warehouse, I encounter this guy who came from 1977.
Really?
He was specifically a cocaine dealer in 1977.
Really?
Like, what do you picture a cocaine dealer in 1977?
White or
have?
black?
White.
Okay. Did he have like longer hair?
Glasses.
Like hair longer than it should be?
Glasses that are
Yep.
like somewhat see-through, like big ones. Like
He had
big
sunglasses.
lenses. Yep.
Did he have a big leather coat that was brown?
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been out of place. I bet his coat was. He wasn't wearing it,
Was it a
obviously.
cream, like
Did he have
almost
bell-bottoms?
button-down shirt?
Cream-colored shirt
Colored
Bell
shirt.
bottoms?
with like
Bell-bottoms.
designs,
Yeah.
mustache,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
gold rings,
Nice.
No beard, just mustache.
just
Fantastic.
mustache.
Uh-huh.
And he's talking like this. Like,
Oh, he's Italian.
Oh.
I don't know if he's Italian, but
He's got that
If
thing.
you would have told me this is an actor
Uh-huh.
playing a 70s coke dealer, I would believe
Hey,
you.
what's all the commotion?
Do you think he was like practicing a character on you?
No, I think that's just how
That's
he
just
is.
him?
Okay.
Because I heard him talking to other
Found
people.
a man from the 70s.
Character actor.
A cocaine dealer from
Did
1977.
he sell you cocaine?
He slipped through a rift in time, and he now works at a men's warehouse in Edentown.
Did you know there was a show? It was on like NBC, long time ago, about a guy who goes back in time and becomes a 70s cop.
Yes, Michael Imperioli.
Yes, Michael Imperioli's in it.
Yes, I remember
Yeah, I don't know
this.
this.
Do you know what show that was?
I remember we did a joke about that though. Me and you.
About what?
I said you were going to be a detective in the 30s. I was going to screen test for you.
Oh yeah.
And you go, I want to be a 70s cop, and I'm like, you can't. He goes, oh yeah, and you just
and I
you
grew
force a mustache out of your own face.
That was funny.
It's from 2010.
It's that. I thought it was older than that. What's it called?
Stupid fucking website won't give me the name.
Google.
It gave you the year, but not the name.
Yeah.
How is that?
How did you find
How
the
is
show?
that possible?
It's got to be
How
older
would
than
you know?
2010. How could I have
How
known?
could I have? No.
Irregardless.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. the
So
most
this
important,
guy was a time traveler. He was an
Yeah.
asshole to me the whole time. I'm telling him the latch on my pants doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Life on Mars was the show.
That's it. Yep.
Okay.
So the men's warehouse pants don't have like a loop for a belt,
No,
Or
they have
anything
it-
like
they have
that.
a pre-installed latch.
a latch.
Yeah.
There's no belt. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
You're not
supposed
allowed to
be.
wear a belt.
The latch
It's a
on my
tuxedo.
pants is broken.
You got a broken latch.
And I'm telling the guy, like, I'm having a problem with this latch. My pants keep falling down. He's like, nah, I'll take care of it. And, like, he does his shit.
And he didn't take care of it, did
He
he?
didn't take care of it. When I'm walking down the aisle on Steve's, wedding. I'm desperately holding up my pants.
We got video of it. I'll see if I can get it for us.
That reminds me of when I was a kid. One year, my parents decided we were going to have a real tree for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go to the tree dealer, right? And we go to the mall, the Staten Island Mall, in the parking lot. They were selling Christmas trees. And there was this guy, and he's clearly like a mobster. And
got these fucking trees.
Trying to sell me and my dad the worst, most fucked up trees possible. Like he wanted to get rid of the ones
like Christmas Vacation.
He wanted to get rid of the ones he knew he would never sell.
Yeah.
So he's pitching these trees that have like dead branches on the bottom. And my dad says to the guy, "What about the bottom of the tree? Like it's clearly fucked up and dead." And the guy goes, we quote it all the time. He goes, "We worry about the bottom of the tree for? Everybody's worried about the bottom of the tree. Nobody's looking at the bottom of the tree." And my dad goes, "I'm worried about the bottom of the tree."
Did your dad buy a
No,
tree?
we didn't buy a tree from this guy. We had to go to a different place because this guy was such a...
I don't have a buckle on my pants. Everybody's worried about the pants. Nobody's going to look at your pants.
Meanwhile, I'm walking around.
Walking around trying to pick them up.
Everybody's worried about the bottom of the tree.
That's amazing.
So one other wedding.
I want to make that into a meme. I want to make that into a picture. This is an Italian guy. Everyone's worried on the bottom of the tree. Holy shit.
One other wedding related thing that I want to bring up.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready for the wedding, and I show Ant the speech I wrote for the best man speech.
Amazing.
And Ant goes,
All right,
your
so-
speech is deranged.
All right,
And now,
yes.
so I am now worried and panicked. I'm like, am I fucked up with what I'm saying?
He told me about this on the way here.
We were just talking about this. So,
Okay.
so here was Brian, we were both best men.
Yes.
And I wrote a quick speech. It was short.
We'll play them both.
Ladies and gentlemen, the day you all have been waiting for has finally arrived. That's right, Expendables 4 is now in theaters. Okay, seriously though, we have all been waiting for the wedding of Steve and Alex for a very, very long time. We were waiting so long. Steve was actually engaged before me, and I ended up married before him somehow. Steve was actually the best man at my wedding, and unfortunately for him, he already gave me my speech, so I can say whatever I want with no fear of reprisal. Seriously though, let's give the bride and groom a hand. Doesn't Alex look beautiful tonight? Also, let's give a hand to the parents of the groom, Renee and Steve. I've known them and Steve almost my whole life. I don't have a brother, but if I did, it would be Steve. Steve is always by my side as I've accomplished almost everything I have in my life. I never want to do something in my life and have Steve not be a part of it. Whether it's making a movie, working in a crappy chain restaurant, doing a podcast, or dragging him into the depths of the Department of Education with me. I always want Steve with me because he's my best friend and brother. That's the type of guy Steve is. He's loyal and he's always willing to help a friend. Steve and me have known each other a long, long time. In fact, Steve and me have been friends so long that I know him better by his nickname Beaver. Why was his nickname Beaver, you may ask? Because children are cruel little assholes and we made fun of his buck teeth. What we didn't know at the time was actually how fitting the nickname Beaver would turn out to be. I'm going to tell you some Beaver facts, and I think we'll all be able to see how it relates to Steve. Beavers are known for being hard workers and a little anxious. Did you guys know that? Beavers have a scent gland that allows them to emit a strong and powerful musk. And I think that relates to Steve. Beavers are mostly nocturnal. If you've ever called Steve when the sun is up, there's a good chance you've caught him during a nap. We've all encountered Sleepy Steve, I think. Beavers also create great change when they build something. Steve has helped me build many things in my life, so I know that's true. And now we can continue to witness him and Alex continue to build their lives together. And this is my favorite Beaver fact, and maybe the most accurate Beaver fact there is. Beavers are actually monogamous. When beavers mate, they mate for life. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to not only introduce you to the Bedagliacos, but it's my pleasure to introduce you to the Beavers. I love you guys, and it's awesome to see you guys build your lives together. I hope that can keep both of you guys by my side as we all get older. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your special day, and congratulations to the beautiful newlyweds.
Give it up once again for our co-best man, Anthony.
There's no need to
I
play
have them.
Okay. There's no need to play them.
Yeah.
I like mine. I want it out.
Short to the point, from the heart speech.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Brian wrote a rambling, very long, but he's doing a bit. And the bit was you were doing like the mating habits of actual beavers. And
Beaver facts.
Yeah, Beaver facts.
Beaver facts.
It was very strange. I felt it had no place in a
That
best
was my
man
nickname,
speech.
yeah.
I think it was very Brian.
Yeah.
And as I read it, I'm like, he's either going to hit this out of the park or it's going to bomb horribly.
Oh, I knew those were the two.
And in my head, I'm like, I'm praying this is a bomb. And Brian's just up there for like 5 minutes giving a speech.
Reading Beaver facts.
And everybody's just staring blankly at him.
That would be funny.
I was praying for it, dude. I'm reading your thing and I'm like, this is horrible. Like he's gonna die. And I just turned to you and go, you got to do this. This is great.
That's not what you said.
Well, our other friend was reading along with me, and he said, this is deranged.
I thought you said that.
He said it, and then I followed it. He gave it away. Like, I wanted to pump you up. I wanted to be like,
You gotta go. Yeah.
this is great, Brian.
Way to go.
But he said it's deranged, and I was like, yeah, it is deranged. But you got up.
He did good.
And you fucking hit it out of the park. You killed.
Good.
Everybody loved it.
Yeah.
I had people coming up to me all night being like, that was a great speech.
Yeah.
Killed it.
Yeah, it was fucking strange, but it was very Brian, and it worked.
Very much. Yeah. Killed it. Very happy with both your speeches, honestly. It was great.
But yeah.
Deranged, though. That was, I was terrified to do it. I almost like rewrote the whole thing. But
wanted you to bomb.
You said you had this for years in the making.
I had the end of the speech in my head for a while.
Uh-huh.
Like I always knew I was going to close with Beaver facts,
Right.
and end with the last one that kind
it's
of
good.
brings it all home.
Uh-huh.
It was good. It was
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Anyway.
but that's not why we're here.
Nope. No.
We're here to
updates.
talk about a little spooky history, guys.
Yeah, we got some spooks.
Spooktober.
Who wants to go first?
You could go first.
I'm gonna go first.
Sure.
I'll go first. Actually, I have a funny little fact about this story. I found this a year ago.
Okay.
Right after spooky season, I ran into this story and I was like, what a missed opportunity. I'm going to save it for next spooky season.
Okay.
So I've had this saved for quite some time. I am bringing an event.
The event.
No people, no pirates, sadly.
Ghost Pirates?
Fuck, I should have.
What do you got?
I have the Dancing Plague of 1518. Yeah.
Okay.
This took place.
Didn't that happen in the 70s too? They had dance fever.
Burn, baby, burn.
So I got this,
night fever. We know how to do it.
And actually, this happened multiple times, and I'll get into it later on. Strasbourg.
Yes.
How do you pronounce that? Alsach?
Alsace.
Alsace. Yes, Alsace. It is now a border city in eastern France, but in 1518,
Alsace-Lorraine?
it was,
it's that
Yeah,
area.
I know.
yes, it was part of the Holy Roman Empire at this time in 1518.
Is this the Saint Vitus?
This is.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that you knew that. I'm really not. But he does have a little tie to this. And you could expand on it if you want. But an outbreak began when a woman named Frau Truffe. Frau Truffe.
Trophy?
Troffea.
Troph.
Frau Troff.
Frau Truff. Starts dancing very enthusiastically. Like she's going hard. No cap. No cap. Randomly in the street.
I have
is
a
just
friend
dancing.
who, when she dances, she
Yes.
has that problem.
Yeah,
She
goes
does
too
like
hard.
a lot of kicks.
Yeah, little kicks.
yeah.
Thumbs are out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that clip.
Yeah.
And you can't go anywhere with her in the city, apparently. 'Cause that-
No, everyone knows
everyone
it now.
knows, yeah. This lady danced for a week straight.
Okay.
Just couldn't stop dancing.
That reminds me
Yeah.
of you when you were in middle school and you played DDR constantly.
It was me, yeah. Played for a
You
week
had
straight.
dance fever.
What was your favorite
That's why I kept in
DDR
shape.
track? Is it Rhythm and Police?
It was Butterfly.
Is it
Butterfly was easy. Yeah, that was easy.
He would do it backwards.
I used to be able to do that
No way.
backwards.
Are
yeah.
you Asian?
I had all my Asian friends played it, and I got into it because they were Asian.
He
friends.
played nonstop.
Yeah. It kept me in shape. You know, that was my workout.
We fucked up.
Back to the story. So she dances for a week straight. Next thing you know, 40 people
Her name is Rio. and
40
she
people
dances for a week
start
straight.
joining in.
Yeah.
So she's just going hard, and then 40 people are now going hard, just in the street. Thing
Is there music?
not yet.
It was Electric Six. They were
It
playing.
was
Yeah.
improv
High
dancing.
voltage. High voltage.
So it's in July.
This should be a great music video, by the way, already.
Yeah, it gets better. It gets a lot better.
It ends poorly.
It ends poorly, but it gets better. It's in July, so it's hot out. People start to collapse. Some of them start dying of heart attack and stroke.
She's still going.
They're all still going. She's probably dead at this point
Okay.
because it's been a week. The plague spreads, claiming a minimum of 400 victims. So 400 people died. That means thousands were probably dancing at one point. By September, they had to send the dancers to a shrine to worship, to like cure them of and pray for absolution. So because they sent them away, the plague ended. But it got a little crazy because it was like
So wait, the
first was
plague
rumors.
ended. We got to just get them out of here.
They had to get people out. But it
Keep spreading the dance.
it kept spreading the dance. So like
the rhythm.
they're like,
That's
if
what
you're dancing,
Gloria Estefan warned about this.
Basically,
the
they're-
rhythm's going to get you.
historical documents, like there's city council notes, there's physician notes that all say like they were dancing till they die and nobody knows why.
Yeah.
They had to clear out guild halls to accommodate the dancers. Because they were dancing so much, they filled it with musicians. Just to see if maybe, because they thought if it gets out of their system, they'll stop. They'll eventually
Yeah.
stop. But we're talking about a religious time, so they're like, oh my God, sin's everywhere. If I have to go dance to with these people because that's like it's rumors spread that it's because it was because they were sinning.
Okay.
I'm sure somebody's like, well, this is the rapture.
Yeah.
You know?
So they go to join in
Right.
dancing, and the plague starts spreading more and more and more. Eventually, because the guild hall was the wrong move, it backfired. Now it's spreading everywhere. They had to actually ban dancing and music.
Oh, this is the prequel to Footloose.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
Yes.
Yeah. And they thought it was punishment from St. Vitus, like you said before.
St. Vitus Dance is the name of the plague.
Who's Saint Vitus?
I don't know.
So
I
St.
know,
Vitus
I know
was
they're a
he
doom
was
metal band from the 80s.
I know the
They're
venue.
right out there with Candlemass.
He was a martyr. He was like some martyr. I don't know the exact story. But similar events actually happened in the 11th century in Saxony and the 15th century in Italy. Some explanations from back then were demonic possession, maybe a
Right.
bug bite,
It's some
Spider
kind of
bite.
thing that affects the brain and causes them to like convulse. I don't know if they're actually dancing, you know?
So the act, like there's a debate about what the claims are of how many lives, but they assume
Right.
about 15 people a day were dying because of this.
Yeah.
Which
And
is
I don't
pretty
think
heavy.
it's exhaustion. Like, I think
Yeah,
they're
it's like
succumbing to whatever this
whatever it is,
fever
but
is.
they can't stop moving.
Yeah,
Like there
yeah.
might be spasms, you know.
Yeah.
But
I think
modern
more likely
theories-
it's spasmy and
Yeah.
convulsion than it is dancing.
Modern theories, though, well, that's the thing. That the reports, the council reports, the physician all said they were dancing, like legit dancing.
Yeah, some
know,
of that, sure.
Yeah. So it's
But the story is dancing.
yes, the story is
Yeah.
dancing. Modern people believe that it was either food poisoning or possibly mass hysteria, but I can't see people doing that and dying from mass hysteria. That seems a little far.
Some people say it's Sydenham's Korea.
That's not how you say what
Korea?
I'm trying to say.
Yeah. What is it?
Chorea.
Korea.
CHO.
Korea. Korea.
Cora?
Korea.
Here.
Korea? Is that a disease?
Yeah, it's a neurological order that
They
some
dance?
people think that's like what made them do it.
Sydenham's Korea.
Sydenham's Korea.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's also known as rheumatic chorea.
chorea.
It's a disorder characterized by rapid, uncoordinated jerking movements.
That sounds interesting.
It affects the hands, face, and feet, but it says it's an autoimmune disease from childhood.
Yeah.
So
I see streptococcus in there.
So it could have
It's in
spread.
italics.
yeah,
But, and
maybe
Saint
that's
Vitus
possible, dude.
was a Sicilian martyr,
Mhm.
and he's like the patron saint of artists and entertainers.
Right. So when they're
Ah.
dancing, they're probably like, "Oh, we
Mhm.
messed up. We have to dance for Saint Vitus or something."
They're
So they
asking
all
Saint
thought,
Vitus to
"Oh, we got to go
intercede."
dance."
It
with
was
these
his
people.
feast
And meanwhile,
that started
yeah,
it.
It's a plague, and it spread and killed a bunch of people,
Mhm.
and that's the dancing plague.
And then one day it just petered out like the rest of the plagues.
Well, they sent them all to a fucking mountain. They're like, "Go pray at the mountain for absolution." They all died
They all
there,
died.
and they couldn't spread it.
If you go to that mountain, will you just start like boogieing?
I hope so. You ever see Hocus Pocus, Dance Till You Die? Dance until you die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's
Did you ever
from.
listen to Hocus Pocus by Focus?
I can't tell if he's making that up, but
No,
no.
it's a real song.
Is it?
Yeah.
How's it go?
That's the
Tra-la-la-la-la-la.
troll song.
What are you talking about?
No, it's like it's fucking. There's no words. It's just him going like "hoodly doo."
Are you doing Avery Brooks?
No, it's a real thing. It's Hocus
not
Pocus by
real.
Focus. Yes,
It's not real.
listen to the fucking
He's
song.
lying.
Play
He's
it.
Lying. He's lying.
No.
You're singing the troll song.
No, that's what he does. That's what he does in the song.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, that's the troll song. That guy died.
Da-da-da-da.
Rest in peace. A long time ago.
All right.
Yeah, that's my story.
all right,
It's
that was
the
good.
dancing
Sticking
plague.
to
It's could have been
A
possession.
dancing demon.
It could have been demons. It could have been, poison. Who knows? But people danced until they died, just like in Hocus Pocus.
I think Brian wants me to go next.
Yeah.
You go
Okay.
next. All right.
Mine isn't that good.
I'm going to talk about the town of Portlock, Alaska.
Okay.
Portlock, Alaska.
Portlock?
Portlock.
Okay. All right.
It
Is
is-
it where is this?
It was a tiny town on the Kenai Peninsula in southern Alaska.
They only were allowed to watch Tiny Toons. They couldn't watch
Yeah.
the regular Looney
no,
Tunes.
that was too advanced for them. They
Yeah.
needed tiny tunes.
Right.
Tiny Toons for a
They're-
tiny town.
They're furry, they're funny, they're Babs and Busted Bunny.
Yeah, and Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Can you name the
Portlock.
pig?
Hampton.
The duck.
Plucky.
The Yosemite Sam ripoff.
Montana Max.
You're good. The Taz.
You're
Dizzy
good,
Devil.
you.
Damn. All right.
You're good, you.
Hard respect. I was playing the SNES game the other day.
Hard respect.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did you even find that?
I was playing online like a port.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, Portlock.
What do you got?
So, in the 1800s, late 1800s, the area of Portlock was discovered to be extremely, what's the word I'm looking for? They had a lot of fish,
Fertile.
a lot of
Okay.
salmon, fertile.
Fertile.
So very fertile in salmon.
In salmon. Okay.
So, company sets up a cannery, a salmon cannery in the town, and the town kind of got built up around this industry. A cannery is,
Yeah.
they put it in cans.
yeah.
Send it all over.
Overwhelmingly, the town is populated by the
Bears.
local native
Oh.
native peoples. of
I imagine if
Alaska.
they have a lot of salmon, they would also have a lot of bears.
it's called the Alouette tribe. The Aleut.
everywhere.
They work for the cannery company, right?
Okay.
And things were going well. Town was growing. They had a post office. They had
Oh.
all kinds of stuff.
Good profits.
And one day in 1905, 3 of the locals go out into the woods. They're bow hunters.
I respect them.
These are Indian guys.
Yeah.
They've been doing this for centuries. They know how to survive
Bow
in the
hunts.
woods.
Yeah.
And they don't come back. They're missing for 3 days. Search party goes out to
Presumably
look
dead.
for them.
Gotta presume it.
They find the only evidence of them is they find one of the bows that the men had hanging from a tree. Like it had been snapped in half.
And thrown up there?
Yes, which would have required a large amount of strength to snap
Yeah.
something.
Sounds like a
that.
bear.
And the quiver of arrows was strewn about, tins of food, but they couldn't find any of the bodies.
Bear.
Okay.
Grizzly bear.
Sometime later,
Wendigo.
Wendigo.
a guy was fishing up in like the mountain lagoons in the area, and he sees something bobbing in the water. And it turns out he fishes it out, and it is
Nessie.
the body of one of the three men. It is missing an arm and a head. And as they examined the body, they conclude that there were no bite marks. That it would
Scratches.
be no scratches that you would find if an animal had attacked them or something.
Yeah.
It appeared that
It's
the
too
head
clean.
and arm had been torn off,
Like ripped.
like ripped.
No,
Now-
it still could be a bear.
This freaks out the town. And the locals start screaming that it is the Nantinak.
The Nantinak.
Is that their
Nantinak.
Bigfoot?
That is their Bigfoot.
Oh.
So they're really remote over there in Alaska, huh?
Sure are.
Do you know what probably would have helped them?
What's that?
A great telecommunication service like Riverside.
Oh, yeah. Riverside is there
yeah.
for all your podcasting and Zoom meeting type things.
Video conferencing. We're not mentioning the competition.
You're right. Sorry. Video conferencing.
Now we got to bleep that.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you know,
believe
they
you.
captured the zeitgeist on that.
Bad enough we got to
You're
you're
like my grandmother who would like always call it a Frigidaire.
Yeah.
Did you ever,
You know, they call all soda in their they call it. No. They'll say like if you're drinking a root beer, they'll say, "Can I have a Coke?" You know, in certain parts of the country.
I always call it a
South.
Coke.
Is it in Alaska?
South.
Oh, the South.
Yeah,
Oh.
generally.
I generally will call soda a Coke.
Right.
My grandmother called all cartoons Mickey Mouses.
Really? Gedim's grandmother
Yeah.
called all
Cartoons
Mickey Mouses.
Yeah, that
But
makes
I
sense.
think it's time we make a change today. From now on, we're going to call it Riverside.
Yeah, we're gonna Riverside.
Right,
this
we're going to
That's it.
Riverside it up.
Yeah.
Anytime we got to
Telecommunicate.
telecommute
Yeah,
and record.
Riversiding.
Yeah, we're Riversiding. Okay.
maybe for like a conference meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A podcast.
Yeah,
Get beautiful 4K video, awesome customer service. It is the best telecommunication service you could possibly have for an internet related thing.
can we splice in the Who's Best I Ever Had, like in there, like bargain? Call that a bargain. Best I ever.
I was going to try to do a quip.
I think we just did.
Yeah, there you go. See, that
Because
should
it's
be the theme song.
Riverside, you know, you
Riverside.
take the side road. Sometimes you take the side road, you get there faster and cleaner. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what
Gotta
else
side
is
it out.
You know what else is in the river?
Yeah.
Salmon.
That's right. Yes.
There is salmon.
So it would have also been apropos
Yes.
to their name.
yeah.
So
Okay.
check out Riverside. Our link right down there below. Thank you.
So they have for centuries known that this area is inhabited by an evil spirit known as the Nantinak, and it has killed these people. They don't show up for work. And now the owners of the company start harassing them. You got to come back to work.
Yeah.
Like they're like, no, we're not supposed to
The
be here.
Nantinak.
We got to go. It's going to
They're
kill
out.
us
Yeah,
all.
they're out.
Eventually they come back to work and life continues. But over the next 40 years or so, 30 years, more and more murders keep happening.
Really?
And I'm
In
gonna-
the same like
And I'm
fashion.
going to start telling you about them.
Okay.
So, 1920, there's a hermit guy,
All right.
lives on the river in a houseboat. One
I
day,
respect them.
his houseboat just kind of drifts off and gets stuck in the mud. And they don't know what's going on, so they send some people in to
Why is
check
his
up
boat,
on him.
Why is his boat in the mud?
As they approach the boat, they find the boat is covered in blood. And they open it up, and he's still alive. And he tells them,
I want to see the boat movie.
he's dying. He's about to die. He has brutal internal injuries. And he says that he heard a howling outside of his boat. He opened up the door and he saw a large hairy creature. And he ran to get his rifle, but it charged at him, smashed him up against his wall, and beat the shit out of him and just left him there to die. And he'd been laying there for like days, bleeding out.
And he's like, it's not a bear.
He's like, well, and then he died shortly after
Okay.
conveying this message to the people. I think I have his name. Hang on,
I mean, you're canning a lot of
Albert
salmon.
Petka.
Canning a lot of salmon. I feel
Albert
like there's
Petka.
Founder of the pet pet store named after him.
Petco.
Yeah.
Founder of Petco.
Yeah.
Another guy. His name is Andrew. Let me see if I wrote down a bunch of stuff.
Mr. Andrews.
Mr. Andrews. I should have built you a bigger ship, Ross.
Should have bet you a better cannery.
Yes. Andrew Kamluck. This is in 1931. He was a logger.
All right, not too long from there.
He was found dead next to his logging. Well, his logging equipment was a big, heavy piece of machinery, was thrown far away from him. So, like, a lot of people would theorize that, like, he fell out of a tree.
Yeah.
But it was too far away for it to be.
Why would that happen?
Right.
Yeah.
The back of his skull was smashed into pieces.
Whoa.
Yes.
And these people aren't really eaten. They're just like.
They're just destroyed.
Yeah.
Finally, this is right around like 1936. Guys are hunting goats, like the wild goats.
I knew men who stared at them.
Yeah. And
Great
they.
movie. Great
And by the way, they keep finding like mutilated moose and shit like that. Mutilated moose and bears and all kinds of things. And these guys that were hunting the ghosts, they just vanish, never to be heard from again. Finally, the people living in the town have had enough, and they're like, "That's it.
We're done.
We're done." They abandoned the town. 1936, the town is completely left.
No one's there.
It's gone.
The Nantinuck has.
Everyone evacuates the town because they just can't understand
People are
what the
just
fuck
dying
is
left and
happening.
right.
So today, Portlock is still there. It's just an abandoned ghost town
that you could go.
that you can go to. And there were stories throughout the 60s and 70s of people investigating the town and being chased off by fucking Bigfoots. So this is a town, it's real, that supposedly
Look it
has
up,
been
Jimmy.
abandoned because of frequent Bigfoot attacks. It was under siege from Bigfoots in the surrounding wilderness.
Would
Yeah.
you go there?
I would check it out.
Is it possible? And I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Fat ass.
Supposedly there was a guy in 1990, he was an older man, who told a story about how when he was a kid, like all of the people came to his village. He was in like the neighboring village.
Yeah.
And the people showed up like, we can't live there anymore. We have to come here, you know? And keep in mind, this is fucking the wilderness in Alaska. It's not easy to move around.
Yeah, you're separated
You know,
from everything.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no roads in or out. It's like the only way to get there is by boat. But yeah, they got Nantinucked.
Wow.
Portlock. You looking at pictures and shit? 'Cause
Yeah.
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Is it possible that whether it's a tribal group or
Mhm.
small group of individuals that are dressing up like,
I suppose
monsters
anything is
almost,
possible,
you know?
but how do you account for the superhuman strength of it
more than
all?
one person?
So they just a whole group
Yeah.
of them.
Just toss the.
But
fucking
no,
thing
because that one kind of survivor they found.
Yeah.
He would say-
he told, like, I've been killed by a Bigfoot. That's what he told them, apparently. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Spooky.
Bigfoot.
That's good. I love
Yeah.
some cryptid shit.
Yeah, cryptids are great. So we got some good stuff here. We got some demonic spells. We got Bigfoot. What do you got? What do you got?
So
bro?
I went really, really spooky this year, guys.
That means rape. That's code for rape. Because that's what it was last
Here
year.
it comes.
No, it's spooky.
Here comes the most depressing story.
Last year, he talked about a child rapist
Yeah.
for like a half hour.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't cut
He's
that.
going to do this again, isn't
Yeah.
he?
No, this is about the Brooklyn vampire.
Wait, what?
Eddie Murphy?
What, is it the making of the movie?
Blackula. This is my stomach.
This is my stomach. This is my heart. Everyone hates that movie.
I like it.
I've never seen it.
It's okay.
I remember it used to come on like Comedy Central and I would change the channel.
Really?
Yeah. That was like that run of horrendous movies Eddie Murphy did in the 90s.
Yeah.
Well, that's like as his star is starting to wane.
Well,
you know?
that's the David Spade line.
What is it?
Look, a falling star, remember?
Oh, yes.
That's what blacklisted Eddie Murphy from SNL. He refused to go back until the 40th anniversary.
That's right. Yeah, he didn't like that David Spade took a
David
shot.
Spade took a shot at him.
It's a good joke.
It's a good joke.
It is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look, a falling
All right.
star. What do you
So
got? So
this is about the Brooklyn vampire.
now, any other person would be like, "Oh, look, here comes a spooky vampire story." I'm assuming this is going to be a cannibal of some sort
This is a child rapist.
or
This
child
is what he does.
rapist. Who's the Brooklyn vampire?
Have you guys heard of Albert Fish?
Son of a bitch.
I don't know Albert Fish. Who's Albert Fish?
Albert Fish is one of the most notorious serial killers in America.
Okay.
Quite brutal. He has a bunch of names. I like Brooklyn Vampire the best, but there's also the Werewolf of Wisteria, the Gray Man, and some people call him the Boogeyman. What? Why are you laughing?
Continue.
You know, right?
Yes.
So this is the 1920s. Well, let's back up to his youth.
Let's.
Yeah. Obviously, like a lot of these stories, you know, his mother is poor and she can't afford him for a while, and he has to go spend some time living in an orphanage.
Mm-hmm.
While there, he is subjected to sexual abuse. It's spooky. What is more terrifying than this?
Let's see. How long did it take?
Was
Was it under a minute? Was it under a minute of this
I think so.
before a child was molested? Holy fuck.
I find that spooky. So I'll tell you guys this. I watched a bit of the Cropsey documentary today. I actually watched it again. I've seen it like 3 times. But there was the part which it never like made me emotional before, but I guess this is being a dad now. There's a part where a woman is talking about like how her daughter was taken and like killed and stuff.
We just want to bring Holly back.
Yeah, I got like choked up. Like I was
Yeah.
ready to like cry.
Yeah. Holly Ann Hughes.
Yeah. Well, we can't talk about that right now. So.
Well, no, I know.
not?
I'm just.
Well, it's
I just happened to watch a
Talk
documentary.
about Andre Rand.
later on. No, we can't.
All right.
It's later on.
So, you know, while there, he's molested and stuff. Eventually,
Please tell me again that he was molested. How many times exactly?
The
was he molested?
nonchalantness of it all.
Was it for 2
And
years? Was
stuff.
it for 7?
Eventually,
What
this-
is the end stuff in molested and stuff?
14?
well, he also gets into a homosexual relationship with another young
This is
boy.
another one. Another one.
And
He found another one.
and while there, this is a little different, guys. It's a little different. He really gets into drinking urine and eating feces. That's like what the guy like shows him to do. Like his like new gay boyfriend.
This is not spooky.
I find this terrifying.
You need to understand the definition of spooky. I don't think Brian knows what spooky means.
He's a serial killer. What is spookier? If I go and I watch a Jason Voorhees movie, he's a serial killer. Albert Fish, man, he's a guy with a lot of issues.
Yeah, he could have been helped.
I think he struggled with his mental health. What do you think?
Seems that way. He's got a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Do you know what I bet would have helped him?
Uh,
If he could talk to an online therapist about his issues.
did they?
Are you really concerned with helping? And wouldn't you rather help
Yeah.
the victims?
Yeah, they need help.
Well, there wouldn't
They
be
were
victims
Right.
if he had been getting help from the beginning.
I suppose.
He
yeah.
could have resolved his
That makes
issues.
sense.
There would be
Yeah,
no
yeah,
victims to help.
Right. Well, who has the time to go to a therapist?
Well, that's the beauty about well, that's the beauty about BetterHelp.
Mm-hmm.
You see, BetterHelp works on your schedule. You can book a time that's convenient for you with an online therapist. And you can get the help you need from the comfort of your own house.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even got to wear a pair of pants.
I assume
That's
it's cheaper
true.
too, because you're doing
you
it
could spend-
online.
That time that you would have, well, no, that wouldn't work, would it? I was going to say, you could do other things with the time you would have
time
spent
that
going
you
to therapist.
saved, yeah.
But he used his time poorly.
Yes, but maybe he would have built like a great work of art or something.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah, he could have took it out.
he would be a healthy, mentally stable individual. We wouldn't even know who he is.
Or maybe we
All
could.
right.
Maybe do something profound.
Maybe he becomes president.
Yeah.
Like LBJ. Look, what I'm saying is go to betterhelp.com, click our link in the, down there below, whatever you want
It's
to call
called
it.
the description.
The description, yeah.
Just
Click our
it
link
there. Click it
right there.
Sign
Start talking to an online therapist today. Get all the help you need. BetterHelp.com.
Yeah. You don't want to be like this guy. You know what I mean? Look at him. Look at him. He's get the help you need.
Just get it, man. Get what you want.
Get what you want. Just get it.
Just get it, man.
Get it, man.
So, you know, he starts to dabble in some crime. He's like 20 years old. He does a bit of like prostitution and, you know, a little molestation of boys. But, you know,
On the side.
on the side.
The usual.
Of, you know,
The cliche, really.
yeah, he had standards, though. He liked them to be younger than 6. He's a real jerk, to quote Norm Macdonald when he would talk about him. Apparently, I found this out today, Norm Macdonald would have a bit where he would read facts about this guy and then go, that guy's a real jerk, huh?
Yeah, I actually think I've heard that.
That's funny.
I found this out today.
Continue.
So anyway, at one point, he's forced to get married to a woman.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, he's forced.
It's kind of like an arranged thing. They have a couple of kids. Eventually, she leaves him, and I
Can't imagine why.
I find it disgusting that the sanctity of marriage was not respected,
Yeah.
and she left her husband. That's scary.
Stuff was spooky.
Could lead to some things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, while this time is going on, he's committing brutal acts against people. He would find like mentally challenged people and like take trains with them to Wilmington, Delaware. And what?
Why Wilmington?
That's where it is. I'm not making that up. And there's one story where
He could have just said Delaware.
that's where it was. So he went with this guy, and
Hey, dummy, you want to go to Wilmington?
he got basically what happened. And he wanted to experiment with like sadomasochism and like genital mutilation. So they go, and eventually he cuts the man's penis in half, and he leaves him a $10 bill.
Genital bisection.
Yes, he gives him a Jenny buy. Well, he leaves him $10, you know, because he's not
Least you
bad.
could do, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy yeah, he's not a bad guy.
And he goes back home to New York. It was around this time that, you know, he was left. He starts to have hallucinations. He rolls himself in a carpet and starts saying that he's following the instructions of John the Baptist, which I think that's a bit out of character for John the Baptist.
To roll himself in a carpet?
Yeah, but that's just
to
having
roll
a fun
himself
time.
in a carpet and ask to cut cocks off mentally challenged people. I don't know much about the Bible.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like it jives.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, but rolling yourself up in a carpet sounds fun. That could be fun.
Worked for Cleopatra. She
Yeah.
did it.
You know, you're just kind of spinning around, having a good time.
So he liked hurting himself, and like he would put needles into himself. And now we're in 1919, and he decides.
Did he ever meet Mr. Panzram? They seem to be contemporaries.
They might have met
They
on a
may
train.
have crossed paths,
Yeah.
you know. So eventually,
That's the team up of a lifetime.
two buddies. I think Panzram had a more interesting life overall. Like he's like robbing Taft and shit. You know,
Right, yeah.
there's a bit of whimsy with him.
Yeah.
This is really just constant horrible shit.
A bit of whimsy.
The robbing Taft story is fun. If he wasn't a serial rapist and child murderer with Panzram, I think we would all be like, what a fun little story. The guy who stole a gun from Taft. Right?
Continue.
He's not wrong.
So now he's like insatiable. Like he's escalated completely.
Lost control.
Yeah, so he starts going to black neighborhoods and like grabbing young black children.
Wait. His losing control is just going to the black neighborhood. He really went crazy.
Well, he hadn't.
It's unthinkable.
He,
Who would want that?
he hadn't killed anybody yet. This is when he started to kill. He had only done a
I wish
Jenny
it was
buy.
just that. You should have loved it that. He lost control. He went to the black neighborhood. But then he went back and killed.
So this is when he starts killing, and he's like torturing people and doing all this shit. He comes to Staten Island, and he
Oh, everyone comes here.
yeah,
Fuck.
he does. And he tried to take this girl from her farm, but the parents saw, and chased him away. Like he was like luring her away with like a cake.
Cake.
Yeah.
I got some cake, kid.
I find that like
Surprised he didn't get shot doing that.
cake doesn't hold up well. It doesn't travel well.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he might have
Was he
purchased
wandering
it.
through the woods?
Just like
He might have purchased it at like
Maybe it's an Entenmann's. Maybe it's in
Yeah.
a box.
because there was
Is that
there
an
was
Entenmann's?
bakeries there. It's possible he just picked it up nearby.
I suppose.
Yeah. Like here's a new cake. Come on.
Slice of cake.
Yeah.
It's a piece of cake.
You would have fell for that.
I'm not a big cake.
Yeah, what a nice guy. Like, look at this nice little cake. Come in the car. You
Maybe a
probably-
chick plum sandwich. I get it. I go savory over sweet.
If you ever want to kidnap Matt, just gotta pull up. Look at this chick park. Like, well, I guess I can
can't
stop it for a little while.
Ooh, marron.
What's that melted mutts? Come on.
So Fish is really into like torture and murder. Like he really wants to like see what he could do, like as far as brutal shit. He does something called the Implements of Hell on a 10-year-old.
I don't want to know what that is.
Yeah, it's just brutal.
I think it could
bad
piece
shit.
it together.
Eventually, this is what got him caught. There was a young girl that the parents, when you read this, you're going to say these are the dumbest parents ever. He shows up at like this house and he's introduced to the family. And he's like, they have like a 10-year-old girl. And he's like, I want to take her to like this place with me to look at like something, right? Whatever. And the parents are like, go off with this man.
This is simpler times, more innocent times.
Yeah, like I hear that with my current brain. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Go with the stranger. What the fuck is wrong with you? And I imagine her being like, I don't want to. And they're like,
I
"Go,
also
go."
imagine he was like propping it up to be like something nice and something, or who knows what it was.
It was
There's a cool waterfall back
Right.
there.
yeah, it was to
Yeah.
attend his niece's birthday party. His niece that didn't.
Yeah, he
exist.
probably snuck in, charmed the pants off them, and was like, "Oh, my niece has a birthday party. Why don't you come? I'll have her back by the night." And then they think he's nice. Yeah.
Days later, the mother gets a letter, and it tells the story about how he met a sea captain in the 1890s.
Fucking sea captain.
Yeah. And the sea captain told him
was
that
a good
in
means of
China,
travel,
where he was in China, and they had trouble getting meat. And it made the guy, like this sea captain, have to try human flesh when he was in China. And he
He
told
became a cannibal.
and he told Albert Fish. This is what the sea captain told Albert Fish. And this is Albert Fish writing a letter to Grace Budd's mother.
On Staten Island.
Not Staten Island. This is a different chick. The Staten Islander made it. Staten Island strong, baby.
Yep.
Stronger than the storm.
That's
Yep.
right.
So he writes this letter talking about how this sea captain told him how great human flesh is. And he's like, I needed to try it.
So kidnap your daughter.
I kidnapped your daughter, and I spent the past 9 days eating everything but her head.
Oh, it's nice of him.
And I ate your daughter. I did not rape her. I want you to know that. She died a virgin. And that's it. Based on that letter, they were able to catch him. They were able to link him to several murders, including a 9-year-old from Staten Island named Francis McDonald. So another Staten Island connection. He was linked to a bunch of child murders. And he was eventually hung and killed.
Great.
And he's
Great.
one of the most notorious serial killers in American history.
Fantastic.
He
That's
finished.
spooky.
That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was very.
I think that's spooky.
I think you derailed this, so I want to do our picks.
I derailed it.
Yeah, you derailed it pretty bad.
We're not having fun anymore.
No,
It's over.
it's over.
And
We're done.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Yeah, we're done.
I also read a book about H.H. Holmes.
I
Would
don't
you like
care.
me to
No,
talk about
no.
him?
No.
that's okay.
You know what? I'm gonna pick Shadow of the Vampire.
Okay.
That's my spooky pick, and I'll talk to you guys later. Continue.
Whatever you say, it's fine.
And you don't know what you're picking? And guys, All right, so let me tell you guys about H.H. Holmes for 30 minutes. Now that we're alone, now that it's just the cool kids. All right, so the picks. Ant is going to pick. Steve did Shadow of the Vampire. So Ant is going to pick fucking. Wow, I can't remember the movies. Oh, Ant is going to pick Pope's Exorcist. He's going to pick the Pope's Exorcist. We have a guest coming in for that one. We got Father Lance coming in. I'm going to pick The Burning. And we have a guest coming in for that one as well, Brian Johnson. And our extra bonus episode of this month, we're doing one extra movie this month.
Still going.
We're doing Conjuring 2. So those are your 4 movies. You got The Burning next week, Pope's Exorcist, Shadow of the Vampire, and then Conjuring 2. It's time to wrap up. I'd like to thank you all for joining us for this most spooky episode of the Reviewing History podcast. Thank you guys so much. I want to give a big thank you to Tell 'em Steve Dave, Bry, Walt, Q, Get 'em, Lannis Record down in the studio. Thank you guys so much. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Please buy some merch. It helps us out. It helps support the show. Please look at our sponsors, Riverside and BetterHelp. Also, the other thing you guys could do to help us, go on Apple iTunes or Apple Podcast. Please like and subscribe to the show. It helps us. Like and subscribe to the channel as well. Ring that bell, just ring-a-ding-ding, to get notifications on all our shenanigans and everything we're up to. Thank you guys so much. Oh, follow me personally, and also I'm such a silly goose. I'm such a silly goose, guys. I forgot. Follow me personally on all social media at Brian Rupert. That's with 2 P's. Follow me on Letterboxd. I rank every single movie I watch, even the ones in my personal life. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.